to constrain this part. First, I would go here in the tree, right click on the front view, and select Properties in the contextual menu. Under Generation, we should have had centerline active so that it creates the axes for me to dimension to. Before I dimension this, I would go to the physical part and look at the sketch. So I'll double click sketch 1. Hit normal to view twice. If you need to get it in the same orientation, because this was drawn on the XY plane. I'll go back to drawing and let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dimensions. These two are chained and there's nothing else going on here, so back to the drawing. If it were me, I'd start with the chain dimensions, go to Annotate, and try your chain dimension first. I want to chain from this datum. Make sure you grab the bottom edge of that line to the bottom edge of this line. And you probably will have to zoom up close so you can make sure you grab this line here. Grab that line. Let me try that again. This time, I'm going to turn this off, come back. Under chain, I'm going to select this line here. And I'm going to grab this one first. Remember how I was saying is do the long one first and then come back and hit these? I don't know why. CATIA just struggles with that. So this dimension must come out because there's no dimension line. See, I can see a dimension line here. There's hardly any dimension line. Therefore, this must come out using the white arrows. All right. But that completes these two dimensions down here. Now I have this one, and this one to do. So back to the drawing board, as they say. And double click dimension. So for me, I would go from here. Sorry, this should be a stack dimension. Under stack dimension, we're going to go from the bottom to the top and then work our way inside. So I want to grab this one over here and slide this out like that. Okay, so looking at the sketch, this dimension and this dimension, it would really be better if this dimension under auto constraints would have put it over here. I don't like moving it because see the extension line on the top goes through that. I don't really like that, so I don't feel like recreating it. There's technically nothing wrong with it, so I'm just going to leave it there like it is. We just got to add this 5-inch dimension now in the radius callouts. So under constraints, typically I just find it easier to go something like this. All right, click that position, and now we have this dimension here for the overall length. I could go on the top, but I start running out of room to get to stuff like putting in these diameters and radius callouts. Now there is no radius. There's a chamfer callout, but there's no radius callout. So when you go to diameter or dimension and just grab this radius, it just automatically switches to the radius mode. And it needs a shoulder because this is an ISO dimension with a straight line like this. So I'm going to right click and go to properties. Under value, I might as well change the num dink like I've been showing you. And select OK to that. Oops, sorry, I forgot what I was even going there for. Under properties, we want to get that shoulder under there. So under the tab called dimension line, there's a regular, and we're going to use 2 parts and select apply and OK. And now you have a shoulder. Same thing for the diameter callout. We got to switch the ISO to ANSI ASME, so we go to Properties, switch that to 2 parts, select Apply and OK. Oh, and it's got to be diameter callout, so double click this. Oh no. If I click on this, right click and go to Properties, I don't think I see a way to switch that. So what I have to do, another goofy CATIA thing, under this I'm going to select this arc and build another one, but this time I'm going to do a right click on the fly and switch it to diameter. So you have to switch that to diameter by using your contextual menu before you accept it. So I click on that, then click to position, then go to properties. Then you can switch it from regular ISO standard to ANSI ASME standards. Now I can move one of these off out of here. Do not want that, so we'll delete it. Also, this has to be a single arrowhead. ISO standards use 2 arrowheads. ANSI ASME has 1 arrowhead. So we'll click on this again. Right click and go to properties. Turn off the symbol. Apply and OK. And then we got to click on this and move it again. Remember, that's got to be at least ½ inch off the part, so I'm just trying to move this off somewhere. Okay. We want some type of angle there. We want to numdink this simply by highlighting everything, picking one and right clicking on it to go to the contextual menu. From there you go to properties, and change the value to numdink. Select apply and OK. Alright. Remember from the last video you have to space this out, so we right click and go to properties. Look for the tab called system, and I just made it 3/4 of an inch. Three-quarters of an inch. Slide this away from the other dimension a little bit. We don't want these getting too close together. We want it to be nice and easy to read from the machine shop. You notice we have 2 radiuses here. So what we do is we click on this, and at the arrow, the red arrow triangle, we could type in TYP in caps for typical. Everywhere you see a radius, it's going to be a ½ inch radius. Now for the holes, you would not do that. You would actually say 2PL, and that means there's 2 places. That would be for an ANSI drawing. If it were an ASME drawing, I'm going to click on this, click here and delete that, and click on the red triangle in the front, say OK. Select the red triangle in the front and hit, get that red triangle and hit 2X. Click off in no man's land, and you notice it gets rid of the shoulder. What you have to do is click on this here again and move this over to make room for that shoulder. Holes, you actually count off how many you have. Radiuses and chamfers, you might have 1,000 of them. So you just say, hey, it's typical wherever there's a fillet or a round or a corner, just make it a ½ inch. But holes, we're going to count off how many we have. Again, we dimension between the holes because we want to hold tolerance. The maximum this hole can be is 3.30 apart, and the minimum, the closest it can be, is 2.97. And that's why we don't dimension off the datum. So this would be a case where you do chain dimension to prevent the tolerance buildup. All right, that's how you chain dimension in the drafting workbench.